The state promised rebate checks to local homeowners who live in a town or village that stayed under the property tax cap.
Some of you have received those checks. Others are still waiting and wondering where your money is. In tonight's New York State Exposed report, investigative reporter Jennifer Lukey takes a look at what the holdup is with some of the money.
Well, the state tax department is getting bombarded with calls from people looking to see where their money is. There are 2 credits here, but they're issued as one check for a couple $100s. The state tells me it's been cutting the checks over the past month or so as it gets information from local municipalities, but many people are still waiting.
My son in Greece got 280 or 70 or 80. My neighbor got 270 or 80.
When did they get those checks?
Like 3 weeks ago.
Kathy Ryan has been waiting for her rebate check for weeks. She's called the state tax department a number of times.
Initially, the calls were only, 10-minute wait, 15-minute wait. It was acceptable. But as more and more people aren't receiving things and getting more and more frustrated.
The wait times are increasing dramatically. So here's what you need to know before you call. In order to be eligible for the money, you have to be enrolled in the STAR or Enhanced STAR program. You have to live in a community where both the local government and the school district stayed under the property tax cap, and your household income has to be less than $275,000. It seems pretty straightforward, but what's the point here? If the state can offer us a check now, why can't it just cut our taxes on the front end? The governor wants homeowners to encourage local governments to stay under the tax cap, and by dangling these checks over us, he's hoping to keep the pressure on.
Instead of simply tacking the money onto revenue sharing, we're doing this more elaborate process.
And is it really for show just to say, hey, look, I'm giving you a check?
And the legislature goes along because the legislature likes the idea of being able to stand up and say, well, those great checks you just got last month, I was part of that, I was responsible for that, and you should reelect me.
But keep in mind, it costs on average $3 for a check to be cut and processed, and hundreds of thousands of them are going out, and you're paying for them.
It's a really, really complex program to manage and very expensive to manage. We are spending a lot of money on the people sitting in Albany who are figuring out what my check ought to be versus what your check ought to be.
And those people appear to be overburdened at the moment.
It's just been one excuse after another and just one frustration after another.
The tax department says that most of the checks in this area have gone out. If you haven't received one, check with your town, make sure it stayed under the tax cap, and then call the tax department. I've got the number posted under this story at WHEC.com. Jennifer Lukey, News 10 NBC.